Going all the way back to 2012 with this one. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. All right, guys, now we have Good Deeds. Came out, like I said, in 2012, rated PG-13, and coming in at 1 hour and 50 minutes. Now, of course, this is being directed and written by Mr. Tyler Perry. Of course, this is what the gentleman looks like right here. And despite what many of you may think, I like the guy. I have a ton of respect for him, and hopefully, he will always be the greatest that he can possibly be. If we look at his filmography, he has 72 directing credits. Tyler Perry's Finding Joy is coming out later this year in 2025, but he recently did Straw, Divorced Sisters. I didn't see Divorced Sisters, but I did see Straw and wasn't a fan of it. Beauty and the Black, I did not see that except for a couple of episodes, but I did like the 6888. And one of his last films that came out, I think it was on Amazon Prime, Tyler Perry's Duplicity. I thought that movie was decent. I didn't really care for the ending, but the movie itself wasn't that bad. But my anticipation for this film, I saw it all the way back in 2012 when it first came out, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very entertaining. And as far as all of the Tyler Perry films, I'm 50-50 down the middle. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. It's hit or miss. You just never know what you're gonna get. And Good Deeds is one of the films that I did like, one of his movies in his earlier days, in his earlier work, so kind of in the middle. Also, like I said, he's coming out with Tyler Perry's Finding Joy later on this year in 2025, November the 5th. So I said to myself, okay, well, let me just review or recap some of the Tyler Perry movies that I do like in anticipation for this next incoming film. So if you haven't seen Good Deeds, that's fine. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. But before I get into all the nitty-gritty, before I talk about all my likes and dislikes, if any at all, let me tell you exactly what this film Good Deeds is all about. Businessman Wesley Deeds is jolted out of his scripted life when he meets Lindsay, a single mother who works on the cleaning crew in his office building. All right, the first thing that I liked about this movie is just the beginning, the opening, the narration by Tyler Perry himself. He sets the stage, letting you know who he is, what he's about, and what his everyday life looks like. Just a great way to introduce himself to the audience and letting us know who he is. Now, with this film coming out in 2012, I wouldn't be talking about it if I did not like it overall, so I just want to go ahead and get that out of the way. I'm not saying that this is the best movie in the world or that I absolutely loved it, but I did enjoy it. I was highly entertained. I saw it again, like I said, when it originally came out in 2012 and recently as of just a few minutes ago. I wanted to watch it again for this recap and review that I'm going to be doing with another friend right after this. And the reason why I bring it up is I saw this movie originally 13 years ago. And like everybody else, I am much more mature now than I was 13 years ago. So I'm looking at it with a different lens. And it was an interesting choice that Tyler Perry made that I noticed with this film, and his characters is majority of them are very, very unlikable. In my experience, it's the exact opposite of that. Usually you want to have a group of characters that the audience can love and relate to just so they can be on board with the movie along with their journey. But that's not the case here. The only character that I did like was Wesley, Mr. Deeds himself, Tyler Perry. But at times his actions were a bit annoying, and I'm like, how can you be so dense? But stepping away from him for a second, we have Thandie Newton's character, Lindsay Wakefield. Oh my gosh, she is such an a-hole. Like, really, I don't understand how she could have been in this predicament, this situation, but she has an attitude. She's rude and she's very, very entitled. I was just saying to myself, wow, it's been 13 years since I've seen this film. I think they somewhat end up together at the end, but how the hell did they get there? Because there's just no way in the world I would be interested in a woman like this that has a stick up her behind. And then you have Felicia Rashad's character, Willie Mina. I mean, like, what's up with her? It would drive me up a wall crazy if I had a mother like this that was just so rude, crude, and always in my business and trying to feed me herself every bite of food that I've ever had in my entire life. I mean, I just cannot live that way. But Wesley, he's a stand-up guy. He took it in stride and seemed like he turned out pretty well, pretty successful, at least in his mom's eye, in her opinion. Now, Brian White, Walt Deeds, Tyler Perry's brother, this gentleman right here. I'll go ahead and get this out of the way. As far as a complaint is concerned, he is my only complaint. He is my only gripe. Well, I do like his energy, and when I see him pop up in other projects, I don't know. I don't want to say I get excited, but I'm somewhat thrilled to see him. His performance in this film was the worst. Again, I do like his energy and the effort that he put forth, but he just was not on the same level as everyone else, not only just with his acting, but just his character. My goodness gracious, I know that he's an alcoholic. I know that he has had problems with the law and DUI and he cannot drive, but man, Saboteur, this guy is the textbook definition of shooting yourself in the foot. Every opportunity that is presented to him, he just drives it into the ground and seems like he has no remorse. I was so annoyed with his character, but at the same time, I was laughing my butt off because it was just so ridiculous and outlandish. Just some of his antics that he was doing in this film. I mean, everything could be going perfect. Just pie in the sky, rainbows, sunshine, the birds are out singing and chirping. Grizzly bears are coming up to you, giving you handshakes and hugs. They're not scaring you up a tree or anything like that. He just wants to say, oh, I'm bored. Let me just mess up a situation and cause drama for no damn reason. I mean, at one point in the film, they were like milliseconds away from closing a big deal. Oh, I just want to go mess it up for no reason at all. I'm just like, geez Louise, crazy, crazy character. But I will say it was funny. It was hilarious. When I was watching this again, I was like, this is ridiculous. So if you just want something funny to look at, yeah, the acting may not be the best and the character may be a bit over the top, but very, very entertaining to say the least. I'm just keeping it real, being honest with you. Now, of course, we have Gabrielle Union as Natalie, the love interest, the fiance. And I will say she did a decent job. I, for the most part, like when Gabrielle Union pops up in television and films. Maybe a number of years ago, not recently. I haven't just been the biggest fan of hers, but I like the relationship that she had with Tyler Perry's character as well, Wesley. And I like the way their relationship ended up at the conclusion of this movie. I thought it was very mature between two adults. I like the level of communication between the two as well. I thought that was excellent. I want to see more of that in real life. I got to give Tyler 2 thumbs up right there. Now, as far as Lindsay Wakefield's Thandie Newton's character, like I said earlier, she really is a butthole and there's just no excuse for her behavior, but I do somewhat feel sorry for the character. I do appreciate the fact that Tyler did take a brief moment just to give her a little backstory and explain her situation, how she ended up in the position that she's in. And I was able to sympathize with the character. Now, it still does not excuse her being rude all the time, but you know, it's just sometimes life can be hard and it can steer you in a certain direction. And if you don't have that support, you know, it can really corrupt you on the inside. And I think that's what happened to her. And I wanted the best for her. I really did feel sorry for her daughter, Ariel, as well. One of the cutest little girls on screen that you can see. And I did feel sorry seeing both of them suffer to a degree, especially the little girl. So if you have a soft heart, this film will pull at that organ because no one wants to see someone getting taken advantage of, thrown out of their house, their belongings stolen from them. They're hungry, they're starving, they have nowhere to clean themselves. I mean, it's just really unfortunate. And it is a realistic situation that many people go through in life. And I think Tyler did a pretty decent job of depicting that in this film. But Tyler in this film, he is the white knight or the black knight. He is the saving grace. He is the knight in shining armor. And that's cool. But at the same time, he's ignorant. They make a very good point, especially at the very beginning, which I said the reason why I like this intro. This man is born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Now, that is not his fault. No one can control the cards that they're dealt when we pop into this world. I'm not going to shame him because his parents did a great job and worked hard and wanted to pass down some wealth and build their children up as well. So again, that's no fault of his, but he is very ignorant. He does not know how much a tank of gas is or a gallon of milk. And that's just something that the everyday person would know. And if you don't know that, you may not have a good sense of reality. Again, that's not his fault. That's just the way of the world. That is the way it is. So when you have somebody all the way at the top, corporate CEO of a multi-million-dollar company, and someone that's cleaning toilets, no judgment there, and you put them in the same situation, it's really, really interesting, the conversations that will go on between those two individuals, and another reason why I enjoyed this and the dynamic of the lead and supporting role. Very, very interesting, because you just had two characters, male and females, that were both proud, thought they knew everything, but at the same time were very, very ignorant of each other's life. Now, this film is being described as a drama / romance, and the drama is definitely there, and a little bit of romance, but what I loved about this movie is that it's not forced. You don't have a couple at the end of this, oh, we're falling in love, we're gonna live happily ever after. That would be completely unrealistic, in my opinion. And I like the approach that Tyler came up with at the end of this movie. I thought it was very, very realistic, and I think many people would get on board with it. I just also like the fact that this shows that opposites attract, and you just never know what's out there for you. You think you know, but sometimes you just have to really get out there and live your life to the fullest to really see what's inside of you and what you're capable of. That was a nice trope at the end of this film. Even if everything just seems all peachy in the life that was kind of given to you, I still think it's in your best interest to just go out there and find your own path. And again, that's what happened at the end of this film, and another reason why I enjoyed it. It somewhat inspired me to get out there and just to see what the world has to offer, which is another reason why I enjoyed it. There are a lot of similarities in this film to other Tyler Perry films that came out at a future date, so I can't necessarily criticize this movie for his future projects, but I may talk about that more in the spoiler review that I do with Kim. And this does have a lot of similarities to Straw. One was executed much better than the other. But other than that, guys, I have no complaints. I thoroughly enjoyed the film. It wasn't perfect. Going from the second to third act, there was a lot of forced drama that just kind of came out of nowhere, but you know, hey, no film is perfect, and it was still entertaining, even though it was slightly unrealistic, but still good, and that's just the main point as far as I'm concerned. If I want to rate this film out of a 1 out of 10, I'd probably give it, I don't know, 7.5 or 8 out of 10. What would you give this movie out of 10? Please let me know down in the comment section, and make sure you subscribe, thumbs up, share the video, leave a comment, and go check out me and Kimberly's conversation with this for our spoiler review that's coming up next. Guys, I want to thank you again so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's just my opinion. Peace, and I'll see you next time.